All right, welcome back to the Mixing in 10-Minute series where I'm going to show you how to mix backing vocals in just 10 minutes. This entire series, I'm showing you my go-to quick tips to get the biggest bang for your buck, as it were. When it comes to backing vocals, you could spend forever on them, but you shouldn't. In my opinion, as important as they are, and I'm a vocalist, I love vocals, I love harmonies. I sang in a cappella groups, all vocal groups for a lot of my life. So I'm not dissing vocals, but you have to understand the role they play in most songs is a support role. And you have to 80-20 your mix. You have to focus on the 20% that's really going to give you 80% of the sound, as opposed to losing hours tweaking and tweaking things like the tambourine or that random background vocal. So to not discredit or to disrespect the background vocals, but treat them with respect, but quickly, let me show you what I like to think about when it comes to background vocals. I've got a chorus here, one of my tracks called Never Satisfied, and there's a few layers of vocals. Take a listen to what the vibe is, and then I'm going to break down what I'm doing on the background vocals and give you a couple of really, really quick tips you can use when you're mixing your background vocals.
Don't believe in settling for what I am, and I could have all I imagine. All I need is just a little.
All right, so we've got the main vocal here.
All I need is just a little bit more than I've been given.
I've got two doubles, I should say, that are panned 50% left and right.
All I need is just a little bit more than I've been given.
And you immediately notice something, that they are not as bright as the lead vocal. Put the lead vocal in.
All I need is just a little bit more than I've been given.
That's your first clue, is that they are not as bright. And if you take a look at the EQ that I have on both of the doubles, and it's going to be exactly the same, I am rolling off a significant amount of top end, everything above 10.8. Now, that's still plenty of top end, but that is removing a lot of the air and the ultra highs on these vocals. So if we just listen to this one double here, here it is.
All I need is.
You're going to notice also when I take off the EQ that I actually have this background vocal, this double, pretty muted in and of itself. And I'll tell you why in a second. With the EQ,
All I need is.
no EQ.
All I need is.
Almost exactly the same, if not exactly the same. The point being is that I recorded my doubles muffled, meaning I stood off of the microphone at an angle about a foot away, and I cupped my hands over my mouth to kind of remove some of that air and clarity. I'm basically low pass filtering or high cut filtering my own voice while I sing, so that the actual raw takes are a little bit muffled from the get-go. Take a listen.
All I need is.
Versus the lead vocal.
All I need is just a little bit more than I've been given. I don't believe it.
So the idea is real simple. Your doubles, and I think even your harmonies, as you're about to see, should not be as bright as your lead vocal. When we have bright things with plenty of top end on the EQ, our ears perceive them as being close. Things that have top end rolled off, we perceive as being further back. So if you want three-dimensional depth, it's not just about delays or reverbs, it's about EQ. It's about what are you doing with the top end. When you remove top end, things fall back into the song. So that's a great way to have background vocals support the lead vocal without competing with the lead vocal. So I've got the harmony here.
All I need is just a little bit more been given.
Sounds so whiny by itself, bro. Okay, so same thing. I'm rolling off even more top end, rolling everything above 8.7 hertz off. Okay, so that's the main thing I want you to focus on. There's a couple of other EQ moves happening and some compression, but it's really the filtering that I'm talking about. If I take this away,
All I need is just a little bit more.
so that like rolls off some of the top end, so it's not as bright. And again, these doubles and the harmonies, now they just support better because they're not nearly as bright as the lead vocal.
All I need is just a little bit more than I've been given. I don't believe it.
Background vocals support the lead vocal. So roll off top end accordingly, and it's going to make a big difference. And then down here, sometimes I'll have call and response vocals like this one here.
Have all I imagine. All I need is just a little bit more than I've been given. I don't believe.
Right? So this little call and response vocal in the mix sits real nice, right?
All I need is just a little.
It's like barely there. So you go, oh, there's a little something. And so by itself, this is what it sounds like raw.
All I need is just a little bit.
Right? It's just normal. I just sang into it. So what I've done is a couple of things. One, I've got the EQ where I'm just doing a high pass filter and a little bit of compression. Okay. But then I'm using a distortion plugin, a Sans Amp plugin. I just played with some of the default settings till it sounded really punchy and distorted. And so that's what it sounds like here.
All I need.
I love this plugin. And then I'm just using a little bit of an EQ after the fact to just take out some of the harshness at 2.4.
All I need. Just a little bit. Just a little bit more than I've been given. I don't believe it.
And the whole point here is, again, I like the call and response vocals, but they're not the dominant thing. They're just a piece of candy. They're just a little tasty treat for our ears. So I want to make sure that it's not only quiet, it's not just volume placement, although that's a great place to start for background vocals, but it is rolling off top end or making them more telephone type vocal which is the same thing. You're rolling off a lot of top and low end and you're emphasizing the mid range. So it's not as bright and breathy. That's going to push it back in the 3D spectrum. So it's pushing it away from you. So the lead vocal stays nice and close and has its own moment to shine. But you still hear it, but it doesn't compete with the lead vocal. So all that said, here's how it comes together at the end. Now, what do you think? How do you like to mix your background vocals? What techniques do you go for? Is there a trick you use? Is there a type of style you use? Is there an effect you use? Is there some kind of strategy that you tend to reach for to make your backing vocals fit nicely with the lead vocals? Leave me a comment below. Let me know so we all can benefit from the way you like to do it. I'm always learning. And then also, before you go, I've been giving out my mixing checklist throughout this series. This is a step-by-step guide through the 8-step process that I follow when I mix a song. So we're looking at individual tracks, vocals, drums, guitars, keys, synths, bass, all that stuff. But you know what? I want you to have a system so you can mix an entire song linearly, systematically, as opposed to randomly just grabbing a track and doing something to it and slapping a plugin on it. So I want you to download this mixing checklist. It's absolutely free. Use it as a reference, print it out, keep it at your mixing station wherever you mix. I'm also going to give you a set of multi-track stems from a song that you can download and import into your software and practice mixing on, which is pretty cool, and a couple of bonus videos for you as well. It's all free. Just go to mixingchecklist.com. And I'm going to link to it in the description below so you can grab that download and get to practicing on your mix. I hope you have a great week. Hope you're staying healthy and safe. And I'll see you on another video real soon.